Hi. So how do you get with this one on this screen? Because I have this crappy computer because my MacBook just got broken. So this is my mom's laptop actually.
Of course.
It breaks here at the side, but it still works. So I love the power of film music. You know, film music really pushes reality to wherever you want it to be. For instance, I just did the music for a comedy horror web series from Los Angeles, and my job was, you know, there's a little kitty, a really cute kitten. We all love cat videos with all the cute animals in there. But my job was to point out that this kitty is possessed by an evil demon. And I like to wake you up with a short video clip of around 2 minutes from this series. And it has a question: have you ever performed an exorcism on a cat? So have fun. It doesn't work here now. All right. I know what's coming. Okay, that's a short break here. Okay, it's perfect. So why do you break up now? Okay. We're back. Okay, you've seen most of the video. Okay, right now back to business here. So a lot of people ask me, okay, you live in Wuppertal, how do you make music for productions in Los Angeles? And yes, you can write music for Hollywood even if you live in Wuppertal. I mean, who lives in Wuppertal, who makes music in Wuppertal? The problem is it really, have you ever heard Americans pronouncing the city? Like, I think, what? Wuppertal? That's right, it's some say W what? I don't know, but I want to show you a little part of the way how I got there from this little guy in Wuppertal, now doing some film music in Los Angeles. Like a little statistic, I wrote about 250 mails on inserts I saw online for international productions. So this is the statistics, how they end up. What do you think is the left bar, like the most reactions? What did I get in response on my attempt to get a gig in Los Angeles? No? No? Who says no? Another said none. Yes, no answer. And it was not mass mail. It was really like I tried to do a little research to find out who they are and to write a personal mail. The second one, I don't know, it's maybe 10 responses. It was thank you, but yeah, whatever. Then 3 or 4 were unpaid pitches. You know, pitch means you work for free for 1 or 2 weeks or so, and then they say, no, we take somebody else. And for 2, in the end, a gig came out. You know, say we gig sounds cooler than job. You know, yeah, have a gig in LA. Yeah. I want to share my mistake number 1 I did. What was my big learning? Yeah. Okay, typically you don't read your PowerPoint slides. I know that, but it's funnier if I do this time. So my typical mailing, which didn't work, was, hi, my name is Richard. I'm a 26-year-old, I'm not 26 anymore, it's old, right? I'm a 26-year-old composer based in Wuppertal, Germany. Since 2006, I've been working as a composer on several movies. I think that was what's happening if they read it at all. Okay, let's take another perspective just to show the reality and how the reality is if you want to get a gig and you apply for it online. So let's think you are making a movie and you need a composer and you just post this online. So hi, we need a composer for a 90-minute feature film, no pay, deadline in 2 weeks, and a great exposure. This is a typical insert. And just to put that into context, like for a 90-minute film, you write at least 30 or 40 minutes of original music. And today's job of a composer is not just to write it. You don't write it on paper and give it to the producers. No, you have to fully produce it so that you just have to put them in. So typically, it's a quiz again, yeah. What do you think? How many responses will you get on this? Any guesses? 1,000? Okay, we have 1,000 here.
So who would have written this?
The production company. So you guess you are producing a movie.
Too many.
Too many?
I wonder who responds to this.
That's the perfect answer. That's the best answer. But you get responses. Oh, it's between 100 to 250. This is not a scientific calculation. It's just I asked some people I know in the business who wrote in this like this. In the first 1 or 2 hours, you get this. And there are a lot, and it's not people, it's not just students or beginners. It's really good composers, really professional ones who want to do this, who want to work for free under enormous stress without sleeping for 2 weeks. So I learned something. So for this show I showed you in the beginning, for Hell's Kitty, I knew about this show before. So I was a fan before, and then I saw by accident that they are searching a composer. And I tried not to write this mass mail, this stuff I wrote before. Now I started to be very personal. Like, I'm a huge fan of Hell's Kitty. I love you, demonic cat. And I even told them the name of my cats. I wouldn't have done this before. The name is Coffee and Bertha, by the way. And I told them that, and it worked. 2 days later, I got a Skype interview, and 1 week later, I had my first job in Los Angeles. And I really learned from it, like that I now write these approaches really personal, like here in this example. So this personal mail ended up somewhere then in the last years in Hollywood, or I visited them. Here on the right side, this is the director of the show. And I'm happy that it worked out like this. Mistake number 2 is, hi, I'm composer X. Okay, we can call him Norbert. Let's say Norby. Okay, I'm Norby. I'm specialized in orchestral music, rock, jazz, pop, folk, ska, and all other styles of music. And this is, I didn't make this up. This is a quote I found on a composer's website. And I see this, that there's a fear, I think. There's a fear among, at least at some colleagues, composer colleagues, like they have a fear, maybe tomorrow somebody comes and wants this jazz thing. Maybe I should learn jazz today. And I think I learned that if you focus on every possible style, you don't win. You think you win because you will have so many options, but you will be replaced in a second, and that's reality. I experienced it. Even you saw it just that on the insert where somebody searching, a composer for nothing, for no money at all, under enormous stress. So many people are waiting in the line to get this job. And again, also with the style, I learned you have to be very personal. You have to have a standing. Of course, you can have multiple styles. You can do orchestra and rock, and so. But you shouldn't aim to be like the standard composer who can do everything. This is the wrong path, I think, and you will lose in the end. A typical approach nowadays is that just think you're the composer for a new movie, and you get this movie, and of course you haven't done anything, so there's no music in there. Typically, or very often, the producers put some music from soundtracks they love under there before the composer starts to work. We call this temp track, temporary track. So I don't have a problem in general with this, but it's very often this is misused. So because the producers or directors, they fall in love with this temporary track. Like if I have to do a movie and he puts Star Wars under it, so I have to compete against John Williams here. And maybe he's totally in love with this music and I just have to copy it. Very often this happens, like here we have this cool Star Wars here, can you just do the same but a little bit different? This is the business model copycat, I call it. A lot of people accept this and they do it. And do you think this is worth it? Like if I just do the music that worked before, is it worth to put? No. Not really, yeah. And I'm going to show, I have my own opinion why this is not the right approach. Because I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to show you a 30 seconds piece of music, and you're going to tell me who's the composer. It's not me, by the way. Are you ready? So any guesses?
It's a lot like Bach.
Bach, we have Bach here. Anyone with Bach? There's no wrong answer. Maybe Chopin. I can tell the answer. There's no composer. This has been written by a computer. Because this is a tool from the Department of Computer Science of the University of Toronto. It allows people to find a piece of music they enjoy. So you just put some music in there. The software analyzes this and generates music in this style forever. This works. And well, maybe you heard it a bit. Okay, it sounded a little bit fake, maybe. But this software is actually pretty good. And I'm sure in the future, this could be a standard. So how should you compete against this? If you just focus on copying stuff that's existed before instead of inventing something new, instead of trying to risk, instead of being an artist. Very soon, I think we will lose against the computers. I don't have a problem with such a software, but I think we shouldn't be just one of those composers. Yeah, the next one. A Japanese, it's a headline I just found two months ago, where an artificial intelligence program wrote a short novel and it was nominated for a prize. It almost won. Well, to be fair, the software didn't write it completely alone. The creator had to tweak it a little bit, had to help a little bit, but it was quite good. So it just doesn't work with music. And it's also on the radio. Have a listen.
Good morning on Radio 123. Richard Albert is a liar. I am not a radio speaker. I am just a text-to-speech program developed by IBM. But isn't this fun, you funky people? Robots don't sound so robot anymore.
Anymore was the last word. So I just see this coming, like robots doing creative stuff. And I don't have a problem with this, but I have a problem if we try to be one of them. So my mind is, in reality, we should keep our personality and not believe that it's, how should I say it? Some people say it's a modern way of making films, like just to take the music that worked, to copy it, to tweak it a little bit, and go with without taking risks. And I don't believe in this kind of filmmaking. So, for instance, I wrote a love song for a cat, and I like to show it to you. Maybe it's not a very special style. It's just a love song, but
give her the attention she thinks she wants, or worse, anyone else who you may come to fancy.
Just you and me tonight. Oh yeah. You touch my heart. You make me swoon like no one has before. You make me purr. You make me feel like I'm alive once more. 'Cause when I'm feeling sorry, it's more than sex appeal. It's so worth fighting for. Let's kill those other wars. Oh, tonight.
thank you very much. What I wanted to show with this kind of scene, this kind of love song for cats, isn't on the list of the standards for a composer. I love to find scenes and projects like this where you can go crazy, where you can do something that probably nobody has done before. Maybe somebody wrote a love song for a cat, but I don't know about it. I heard about a love song for a dog before, but not for a cat. So should we all I don't know why I put this slide in here. Okay, no. You shouldn't focus on love songs for cats, because I'm in the love song for cats business now. So the point of this, what I tried to say is, I want you to go and make a difference. Don't just be a copycat. Don't just copy the stuff that worked before, but go crazy and take a risk and try to make something new. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the talk. So now, if you'll indulge us, we'll have a quick question and answer session if you have any questions
Maybe.
for our lovely speaker.
Don't be shy.
About the process or anything
I have a
like that.
question.
Yes.
I'm not from music, but is there a different way of working when you compose music for a cat or as a duck?
Or for a cat or a dog?
Composing different? Is it? No? So the last one for the duck would be the same last one then.
I don't know. Maybe we should discuss what kind of dog. Is this dog already also possessed by a demon or not? What kind of dog are you referring to?
No, just a demon one.
A demon one?
That's okay. That's all for me. I just want to see if there is.
Maybe it would be different. Now maybe I give some complete different answer, but I just say something.
But then you come from graphics, you can like, I don't know, search from other areas. And
No. No, the point of this song was this cat in the story, she loves death metal and cheesy love songs. So I've been going to trying to be as cheesy as possible. And you know what cheesy is? Like, yeah, okay. We don't have a word in German for this. Not really a cool one like this. Kitschig, yeah, maybe, but cheesy is kind of cooler. So it was my attempt to be as kitschig, as cheesy as possible. All right, yeah. And
Which genre have you felt most comfortable working with when composing music?
so like in this web series, this is comedy and horror, and I think that this is something I'm good at. Those two individually, but also together, like horror, comedy. And for this show, also a bit rock and cheesy love songs, but it's because more because it fits into the story of this cat. So you
Was this meant as self-promotion or just for fun? Or did you do that for
with the cat?
Yeah.
This
That
is
one we just saw.
the love song.
Yeah.
This is a first part of a web series called Hell's Kitty. You can watch it online. And this year we're gonna release the 90-minute version of this, where you also can see the song, the love song. And I'm gonna release a soundtrack album with a cheesy love song as well.
So you get paid for that? Or is it
I get paid for that. Isn't it cool? That's good.
people who pay for
But that's good. That's good that you wonder, is he paid for that? But that was my point, you know. Like, this is crazy stuff. It's sick, yeah. But I love it, and it's a very small niche. But I found my niche here, and I can set myself apart from the rest with this. So I think not many composers will have this sick stuff in their show reel, like
Yeah, but
Love
it
Song for
sounded
Cats.
like you put a lot of effort in it because there was, I mean, the voices, the vocals, isn't that like?
It was a professional singer called Hermano Blanco. It's a friend of mine.
Did you feel that?
Pardon?
Did you feel that through this kind of niche job, because you said you're not going broad and doing everything, but you're this niche horror comedy thing? Did you get more exposure in this area then, or was it worth for you to focus on this kind of niche segment in the end because you're more specialized in it than to kind of work for a broader audience and for broader clients?
Yes. Some people know me for doing this, and I also got other job offers based on followed on this. So as I told you in the beginning, it was a bit hard from Wuppertal to get something internationally. But once I was in there, it kept on rolling. Like, people start to trust you. They see what you're doing in your little niche. They ask the filmmakers, like, is it worth to work with him, even if he's on the other side of the world? And once they start to trust you a bit, you're kind of in there. Michael?
You said that there are literally thousands of people who will do a 90-minute feature film, music production, full production in a 2 weeks deadline, which sounds like crazy to me. Which is why I want to ask, how much effort is it in reality? How much effort would you need for that 90-minute Hell's Kitty feature film to actually produce original 90-minute music?
As a rule of thumb, you say at least 3 months for a good film music. It really depends on what you are doing, but I think 3 months is a good. You can say it like this because you need the time. I want to read the script. I want to do research on the parts of the story, like on. Well, there's not much about demon cats, but yes. You just need your time to get in there and to do something special. If you have 2 weeks, maybe you can get it done, but the quality won't be perfect, and you cannot do something very special. In the end, you will have your time pressure anyway. It always happens. But if it's from the beginning and you don't have your time to get into the mood, to get into this film, there can't be something good in the end. Also because you have no budget to do it. So, now what's first? Okay.
What gave you the courage to continue to say that you wrote 200 emails? It must have taken a couple of weeks, maybe months or years till you got your first gig. What kept you going?
Well, of course I was working here in Germany, so I had something to do. I had something to produce, and this kept me working. And just in the meantime, I think for some weeks I gave up, and I didn't write any mails for a couple of weeks anymore. But it's hard to say. I just continued. Yeah, somewhere in the middle, there was this where I got a pitch maybe, and this gave some hope, even if I lost the pitches. But this kind of gave me hope to continue until something worked. I think you were before. Okay, then.
What kind of music were you producing in Germany, and do you use real instruments in your recordings?
I've been, before here in Germany, it was kind of more the thing that I criticized earlier. Like I was doing kind of everything, like of everything that came. And someone later, I started to say no to projects that I didn't like even if there was money involved. So, but I thought this is better for myself, for my development as an artist, to say no. And the other question was,
if you use real instruments in your recordings.
Yeah, it depends on the budget, of course, but typically it's a mixture. I'm a guitar player. I play this myself. I use a lot of vocals, like the singer here in the love song.
All in your studio?
All in my studio, yes. But of course, like if you don't have a lot of budget, you cannot have a real orchestra or so. So this is out of the box in this case. But it's a hybrid production usually, with some real instruments and some out of the computer.
Did you study music?
No, I studied informatics. So I'm a self-taught musician. And this is not a story like I studied informatics and then I stopped it and became a famous composer. I'm not famous, no, but I also love informatics, so I love those both worlds. Yeah.
Did you have to study any music theory, or was that?
I tried to. I'm not very good at music theory, to be honest. I have some books on my shelf, dusty books, but I have some music theory knowledge left over from the time I was. I had a guitar teacher when I was 15 or 16 or so, but most of this I just did it. Yeah.
For a self-taught artist, there must be a lot of drive from yourself and motivation to really put your work and your heart into this composing. What was your main motivation or your main triggers to help you motivate you to be in this world?
It's a difficult question. It's just I think the honest answer is like the music kind of came to me. There was no point where I said, okay, let's try film music. It was maybe I could tell how this all started in a few sentences. Like I was doing some home recording when I was a student, but it was just a hobby and for fun. And somehow a production company thought I was a composer. I think a friend of mine who was an actor gave them some music, and so they asked, "Can you do the music for our next short film? We need 15 minutes of piano music. You are a composer, right?" And I was, "Yeah." And this was a whole. I didn't have a piano or a keyboard at this point, so but it worked. Somehow worked, and they liked it. This was how it started, and I just was in love with film music from there on. But it was completely an accident.
Accidents sound great.
More? Okay.
I wanted to ask about the copycat thing that you mentioned, that in the music industry you have to be, well, actually in every industry you have to be authentic or unique in one way, but don't you think that already a lot of things have been used, also in the music industry, because I'm also a music composer, a lot of producers right now, whatever they produce, it is at least like 20%, that would be the lowest, influenced by any other big producer. Nobody has actually their own sound. Nobody creates their own sound. For me, I think that, I mean, I haven't heard a love song for a cat, but I've heard a lot of love songs that sound like that.
Yeah.
So it's still a typical kind of like a jazz saxophone Tina Turner type of a song. You know, it's like there's still a group. So even if you want to be an artist, you still kind of have to adapt to what exists.
Yeah.
And I think that you've lived that in Germany, which you said you did projects that you didn't want to do probably, but I mean that's the producer, right, playing every style of music. So my question was, do you think it's really worth it? Because you asked the question actually, but do you really think it's worth it to try to make up your own sound?
Of course. Like, okay, just one thing about. Of course, this cat song was a typical 80s cheesy style. I think what made it special was the context in this case. But that we could discuss this for hours. This question, but I think. I actually try to get my own sounds, like I'm building my own instruments, mostly in the computer, but also a little bit I'm working at home to build some cheap, crazy instruments, sorry, to get my own sound. And of course you cannot reinvent the wheel every time and to do something completely new, but I think at least you should try to do something new and to start from scratch at least. It's a hard question, and it's that's reality. That's what we're talking about. It's hard to get this done and to do something new.
So I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Start into the weekend or maybe back to work, and yes, I have a small preview. I'm really happy that our family is really good connected, because our last speaker is here and our next coming speakers are here, Jackie and Raoul with their project Not Another Cologne Guy.
Not just another guy.
Yes. So I hope to see you everybody next month again, and I hope you don't have to work right now, but yes, have a nice weekend and enjoy the sun. Thank you.